There have been many offensive and defensive trends down through the years, but I think really that it takes the same thing to win football games now that it did many, many years ago. And I also think that it takes the same thing to be a great All-American as it did when we had our first All-American many years ago. They all have that great desire to excel. They have great pride, and of course, they all have ability too.
Notre Dame tackle, Greg Marks.
Hitting a ball player and let him fall on his back. That, to me, is one of the greatest thrills that any football player could have.
Great teams start with defense. Of course, you have to have defense because you have to keep them losing before you can win. And with that in mind, the coaches spent many hours studying the great defensive players of the nation this year, and we're very pleased with the ones we came up with.
Rugged defensive linemen like Greg Marks have become as much a Notre Dame trademark as the Golden Dome. Quick and durable, 265-pound Marks was captain and bulwark of the Irish defense. An academic All-America, Greg Marks believes football contributes heavily to his overall maturity.
You learn on the field so many things that goes on off the field. The total sum of football involves so many things, and which I like, which I love very much. I think it really develops a man.
Purdue's 6'7", 280-pound Dave Butts, number 62, was an unwelcome visitor in enemy backfield. And a solid choice for a tackle spot in the All-America defensive line. John LaHoop, number 67, says South Carolina's Paul Dietzel, is the best tackle I've ever coached. LaHoop mastered the search and destroy mission as one of college football's most feared tacklers. Deep in the mountains of Pennsylvania, through the red and gold trees of autumn, is the heart of Eastern college football. Penn State University, winner of the Lambert Trophy 5 of the last 6 years. Here at the Nittany Lions annual homecoming, meet a defensive lineman who missed much of spring practice because he was studying rocks. A geology major, Bruce Bannon, number 83, specialized in field trips on and off the gridiron. Like Greg Marks, Bruce Bannon considers Saturday afternoon something more than winning and losing.
It's a great challenge to go out there in front of 50 or 60,000 people and to compete against another man and to try to beat another man in a physical and mental contest.
To Penn State coach Joe Paterno, Bannon epitomizes what college football is all about.
Bruce Bannon is the type of young man that epitomizes what we want in intercollegiate football. He's an outstanding student in our science curriculum. He's only had 2 Bs in his 3.5 years here at Penn State. He will go on to be a graduate scholar someplace. Last summer he went to Vietnam to represent the NCAA to talk with our troops and did an outstanding job there. He's just a fine, warm, sensitive human being who does everything that a good person wants to do off the field. But when he gets on that football field, he likes the competition, the aggressiveness. He likes to play football the way we all hope it would be played. He's just a fine, great all-around person.
Physically and academically, Bruce Bannon, All-America on and off the field. Anchored in the middle, poised to strike in any direction, Nebraska's one-man wrecking crew, Rich Glover. For 2 seasons, number 79 dominated the enemy. Nearly unmovable, always searching out his opponent. Rich Glover is the prototype of the hard-hitting, quick-pursuing middle guard. This kind of outstanding play by Rich Glover won for Nebraska a Chevrolet scholarship presented on national TV by Mr. Robert Lund, General Sales Manager, Chevrolet Motor Division. Glover joins Marks of Notre Dame, LaHoop of South Carolina, Butts of Purdue, and Bannon of Penn State, forming the coach's All-America defensive line.
Normally speaking, your linebacker is the backbone or the heart of your defense. And at any position, we're always looking for size and quickness and speed. But I would have to think that the linebacker's got to be the real headhunter.
When Tennessee was on defense, linebacker Jamie Rotella went to work. His slam-bang tackles made the Vols the toughest team to score on in the Southeastern Conference. One of the big reasons for Nebraska's dominance in the powerful Big Eight, All-America linebacker Willie Harper. Quick as lightning, Harper played both on and off the line. His area of defense was just about the entire field. Coach Bob Devaney watched number 81 make many a big play.
Willie is a great pass rusher, a fine tackler, and a fine pass defender. He seems to be around that football all the time and is really a truly great All-America.
The Cornhuskers lost just 2 regular season games during Willie Harper's 3-year career. He was Nebraska's Mr. Dependability. At Ohio State, the Buckeyes surprised the experts, upsetting Michigan for a share of the Big Ten title. Junior Randy Gradishar, number 53, was the spark plug of Coach Woody Hayes' aggressive defense. Sunny Saturdays, pretty girls, and a winning tradition. That's Alabama football, and John Mitchell, number 97, was a standout. Mitchell, one of only 2 juniors on the coach's All-America defensive team, flashed speed to catch runners from behind and the power to drive them off their feet. Rotella of Tennessee, Harper of Nebraska, Gradishar of Ohio State, and Mitchell of Alabama, All-America linebackers.
I personally think that the defensive backs is the most difficult position to play because, first of all, it's the most important because it's the last line of defense.
Colin Bryant's ball hawking made Colorado's secondary a disaster area for enemy quarterbacks. His 2 clutch interceptions iced the Colorado upset of mighty Oklahoma and clinched an All-America berth for the senior from Colorado Springs. when it comes to game-saving tackles, Michigan's Randy Logan rates at the top of the coach's list. Logan's last-minute interception jolted Purdue and kept Michigan on the road to a tie for the Big Ten title. According to Webster, a Spartan is strong, unyielding, and practices self-discipline. At Michigan State, that description fits Brad Van Pelt. 6'5", 221 pounds, number 10 is an intense competitor who can play just about anywhere on a football field and has.
In high school, I played defensive safety and quarterback, and I was recruited actually as a quarterback, and I came here my freshman year and played quarterback for my freshman year and the beginning of, spring ball, and I was switched to defense where, I was happy to be switched because I'm playing and I like it there.
Van Pelt is a super Spartan, says Michigan State coach Duffy Doherty.
Brad came here as a quarterback. He could be an outstanding quarterback, but the fact that he's also playing baseball and basketball, and that we weren't going to have him for spring practices, probably influenced my decision to turn him over to defense. Brad has the ideal mental temperament. He's got a great attitude. He's a fine competitor. He just loves the game, and he's a great leader. He's our defensive captain. But his ability, his quickness and agility, and his ability to always be near the ball, and his willingness to hit and tackle and do the things that you expect out of a real football player certainly endear him to me.
A pitcher in baseball, a starter in basketball, and a football All-America. Brad Van Pelt joins Bryant of Colorado and Logan of Michigan in the coach's All-America secondary. As we've seen, All-Americans work hard during a football game, but they also work hard getting ready for the game. Bet you never noticed that before, did you? '72 was a record year for offensive football. Point totals were rising, freshmen were starting, and each section of the country featured young men who could excite a crowded stadium. Selecting the best was a problem the American Football Coaches Association attacked with pride. The coaches studied game action footage of all of the leading candidates and then picked the nation's finest, position by position. The president of the American Football Coaches Association, Bear Bryant, explains the process.
We study a great many film in our normal preparation for a football game. That's when we play one team. If we may study 6 or 7 film, meaning we see 6 or 7 different teams. And in doing so, you will naturally pick out or notice the outstanding players. He may only be a sophomore. During the season, maybe starting the first week, well, coaches from all over the country will make their recommendations in to the coaches committee. Near the end of the season, the committee will get together and select the team, and based on the coach's recommendation.
And coming from the men who see them play, that's a sound recommendation. There were many outstanding quarterbacks in 1972. Coach Bryant was proud of his own Terry Davis, a small, freckle-faced kid who didn't lose a regular season game in 2 years of competition. Virginia Tech's Don Strock led the nation in passing and total offense. And Southern California's Mike Ray was a key man in the Trojans' explosive attack. But the best of the group was a 21-year-old senior who was virtually born on a football field. When other youngsters were watching cartoons, Bert Jones was watching his father play pro football with the Cleveland Browns. Dub Jones, the father, was an all-pro pass-catching halfback. Bert Jones, the son, is a rifle-armed quarterback for the LSU Tigers. Jones became LSU's all-time touchdown passer. The 6'3" senior from Ruston, Louisiana, could run when needed. But it was that golden right arm that took quarterback Bert Jones to the top of college football. In front of every All-America passer is a line that blocks and a pair of sure hands to catch. Southern California topped the polls most of 1972. One of the key figures was 6'4", 230-pound Charles Young. As a tight end, Young was called on to catch, run, and block. He handled all three jobs in All-America fashion. The coaches naturally look for speed and size when they study receivers. But timing is so vitally important. Barry Smith of Florida State has it all. Gary Huff to Barry Smith. And Smith became the only collegiate receiver to gain over 1,200 yards on reception. The smallest member of Nebraska's Big Red Machine was the most exciting. Johnny Rogers, 5'9", 173 pounds of dynamite. With Rogers at flanker, the Cornhuskers were nearly invincible, winning 2 national championships. He's Nebraska's all-time top scorer and the Big Eight's all-time leading receiver. The Omaha senior was a game breaker. Johnny the Jet streaked for nearly 4 miles of all-purpose running. They call him Supernet, and he's got a million moves. No one ever in a 3-year career covered more total yards than Johnny Rogers. The most versatile and the most dangerous football player in America, Johnny Rogers, All-America flanker. Great players like Johnny Rogers are a reason college football is universally popular. But let's not forget the bands, girls, and pageantry that goes into making this sport an American tradition.
playing in the offensive line is probably not the most glamorous thing in the world. And for that reason, I think that we have to find people that really have a genuine desire to excel and have great pride and are great competitors. And I think we have that this year.
It's unglamorous, but it's vitally important. People have to be knocked down before runners can run. These are the unsung heroes of football. Alabama's John Hanna is the biggest player in Crimson Tide history. He was 35 pounds when he was a year old. Now he's 280 and still growing.
Mainly we're a power type team, try to get 3 yards and go, and usually I just try to hit my man and stay with him and keep him away from the ball carrier. And I know when I go into a game that I'm going to get whipped a few times, but I try to usually whip my man a lot more than he's going to whip me.
Bear Bryant calls Hanna the best one-on-one blocker in college football. Big John is also a collegiate champion shot putter. He believes it helps his football.
It helps me in football a little bit, and it makes me stronger. And that's probably my weakest point, is I don't have the strength to go along with my weight.
John Hanna of Southeastern Conference champion Alabama is a repeat Coach's All-America. Texas won its 5th straight Southwest crown in 1972. The Longhorns' awesome running game was keyed by Jerry Sizemore, number 76. Coach Darrell Royal says Sizemore is the best offensive lineman in Texas history. Sizemore opened the scoring path and joins John Hanna as a 2-time All-America lineman. When Big Ten co-champion Michigan took the field, Paul Seymour, number 77, picked his blocking target and hit the bullseye. Seymour made the key blocks, like this one, that helped win the Michigan State game. A brother of former Notre Dame All-America Jim Seymour, Paul Seymour proved again that backs need the blocks to break the big ones. Guard Ron Rushnack, number 62, led the charge for Atlantic Coast Conference champion North Carolina. And center Jim Croft opened holes at Alabama, joining John Hanna, Jerry Sizemore, Paul Seymour, and Ron Rushnack as the All-America interior line.
To have a great offense, of course, you have to have balance. And to have balance, you have to have a great running attack. And we were fortunate this year and had many outstanding runners, and we'll show you some of those now.
Yale University, celebrating 100 years of football with more All-Americans than any other college in history, now adds Dick Jaron to its honor list. A senior from Swampscott, Massachusetts, Jaron rewrote many of Calvin Hill's Bulldog rushing records. During his career, Dick Jaron gained over 100 yards more than 15 times. In selecting a fullback, the coaches look for a hard-driving power runner like Southern California's Sam Gunningham. But even more important, they valued the blocking ability of this 6'4" senior. Number 39 opened the doors for many long gainers. And could take it all the way himself when needed. Bulldozer blocking plus power running captured All-America honors for Sam Gunningham. At Norman, there's one little guy all the Oklahoma students love to talk about.
Greg Pruitt's got this power behind him. He's just football all over. You look at him and you think of football and you think of a flanker running the ball, ready to score. I think he's one of the best runners I've ever seen, and it's exciting to watch him. He just runs like lightning. I
I think he's fantastic, and he just runs like a bat out of... Yeah, he's fast.
Like a fly, just here 1 second and gone the next. And he's like, wow, super fast.
I usually look for the open spot, and when I see it, I run for the open spot no matter where it is. So my mind just, open, get here, open it here. Like this, I guess it's probably how fast it'll be running. But the asset that I have for running is being able to run with the ball comfortably, A lot of the guys, tease me about my height. A lot of guys call me midget, cut off. And it bugs me a little bit, I think I'm 5'10", the coaches give me 5'9", but it's something you have to live with. I think it's not how big you are physically, it's how big your heart is for the game.
One player said Pruitt flaps around like a punctured balloon with the air escaping. Darrell Royal calls him a Corvette with legs. Greg's coach, Chuck Fairbanks, best sums up one of the sport's all-time great runners.
He's an exciting guy with great movement, great quickness, and a great desire to be a winning player and a great player individually.
That's our 1972 All-American football team. Each young man has worked long and hard and is very definitely deserving of this great honor.